Hi, I don't know if I'm going to make a full broadcast. I was looking through the news feeds and I don't know, man. I'm just not too impressed with what I see. Um, Made a couple of other videos tonight showing some other aspects of my experience, including the duck pond and a really amazing show on television. I snagged a segment from that. Okay, so I'm just going to dive right in and go to rents first. And I'm not finding much. Most of what I find is just kind of like crazy asinine bullshit that doesn't have much to do with anything. Um, as far as I'm concerned, the only news that is real news has to do with taking down the international bankster motherfuckers that print money out of nothing, buy off government officials with promises of trinkets and rewards, print up the money, lend it to governments at interest. And this is monopoly money. This is money with nothing behind it. They just print it and they just lend it out to corrupt governments. And the governments borrow it with a promise to repay at interest. And guess where the interest comes from? Taxes, folks. And because it's compound interest, there is no way to get out of it. You are just digging yourself deeper into the hole. And when the day comes that you do no longer have a job to pay your fucking taxes, they come and they take your fucking property, because it's like this. Two men are sitting on a park bench having a conversation. A third man comes up with a bushy beard and sidelocks and a fur hat. And he says, I don't want you talking like that. I want you to use these communication devices, these cell phones, and you will pay me for the privilege of using them. And they say, buzz off. And he says, listen, I don't think you understand me. You're going to use these cell phones and pay me for them rather than talk to each other in person. And they say, get the fuck out of here. And he pulls out a ram's horn, and a big cop soldier motherfucker comes along and says, did you pay me? Yes, I did. What do you want me to do? Bust their heads open and talk some sense to them. That's the way it is. Money as it exists today is a commodity that we don't need, and we pay for it. And the ultimate spiral of that is that we have all of our property taken away and we are reduced to serfdom. That's the end game of fiat currency. And I'll say this, Hitler showed that it was perfectly possible for a government to print a nationalized, no interest currency and put people to work, and he hauled his country from the dregs of European society up to the forefront in 4 years. So with that preamble, only 44% of Americans approve of the Supreme Court. That's from Rents. Only 44%, huh? It doesn't impress me. That's a gin and tonic in a tall glass. There must be some shit going on out here tonight. It's not usually so noisy. Only 44%, eh? Only 44% of Americans approve of the Supreme Court. Jesus. Only 44%. I'm thinking that it's not going to, the the change is not going to happen until we get down to like 12% or maybe 2%. Hmm? What I'm struck and amazed by is that 44% of Americans are still so fucking retarded, still so out to fucking lunch that they could approve of the Supreme Court. That's what amazes me. Then again, the poll could be a lie, a complete shambling lie. Very possible, folks. What else from Rents? Prometheus crew tells of movie's most shocking scene. This is interesting. I'm going to check on my time here. 6.5 minutes. I'm doing good. Prometheus crew spills its guts about movie's most shocking scene. And I grew up with the Alien series, and I remember the original Alien movie when, Ridley Scott is a very intelligent director. I think it was John Hurt that the alien burst out of, and Ridley Scott, I remember reading about this. Ridley Scott, he didn't tell the people around the dinner table what was going to happen. He said, just make dinner conversation and you'll see what happens. And only John Hurt was in on it. And the alien bursts out through the chest, and horror, and oh my. Worse horrors go on every single fucking day. Anyway, Prometheus is like a prequel to the Alien series, and they're discussing the most shocking scene where apparently the heroine, the lead actress, climbs into some kind of like medevac vehicle and has an abortion performed. And it's supposed to be really shocking and disturbing. I'm going to go see it and get my own take on it. I'm not going to pronounce anything right now, but I find it very fucking interesting that we have in a movie called Prometheus, which is Prometheus is closely tied to Lucifer. Mythologically speaking, Prometheus brought fire to mankind. Lucifer is the light bearer. And we have this apparently very gruesome, grueling scene in this new movie Prometheus of an abortion of an alien taking place. So I don't know what to make of it yet. I'm going to go see it myself and report back. Now, moving on to Ike. Fears of financial catastrophe in Spain intensify as the crisis-torn country is rocked by devastating credit rating downgrade. Well, the credit raters are the criminals. It's like, you won't pay my debt back, I'm going to downgrade you. And the debt is a criminal debt. It's really a non-debt. It doesn't exist. But there's this great big system set up Iceland paved the way. But Iceland is a very different case from Spain or Greece. You know, in Iceland they catch fish and they sell them. It's a pretty simple economy. Not so Spain or Greece. And so I see a financial catastrophe in Spain and Greece as being a positive turn. The right kind of financial catastrophe. The kind of financial catastrophe that comes from them telling the Eurocrats to go fuck themselves and telling the private bankers to print their money and enslave them with fiat money currency to go fuck themselves. And we will subsist on our crops that are locally grown, and we will trade locally, and we will endure and we'll get through the crisis, and we will print our own national money without usury. Fuck you, and go to hell. And we'll ride it out until the bitter end, which will turn out to be sweet. That's what's got to happen. And I'm sorry, but, you know, maybe a few people have to go hungry along the way, but it's better than having a neo-feudal system, which you can see in the movie The Hunger Games. Check on my time. 12 minutes. Got some feedback going on here. Whatever. Thank you, YouTube. Rand Paul, son of Ron Paul, condemns Bilderberg and Goldman Sachs, and then endorses Bilderberg and Goldman Sachs puppet Mitt Romney. Do you honestly think that any mainstream politician, and that includes Ron fucking Paul and his son Rand fucking Paul, do you honestly think that they endorse you? Okay, time to close out. Got an echo going on here. I would say that the best thing you can do is to boycott the elections. Boycott the vote. Don't vote. And if you really have it in you, plant a garden, grow your own food, get some solar panels, get off the teat, stop working, stop paying taxes, and grow your own food from the soil, keep chickens, eat the eggs. Get off the system. That's what I'm doing. This feather here was given to me by Korea. That's a magpie feather. Magpie is like the national bird of Korea. And this country gave this feather to me, and I wear it with honor. I'm an Indian at heart. Okay, so long, farewell, good night, God bless. I love all you. James Fargon, over and out. Be well.